Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Bam! That's who I am, and welcome again, SWYM. That is The Swimming Pool. And if you notice on your screen, there is a pool. One day I'm going to tell the story about that particular pool. But when we talk about swimming, we are talking about something a little different. Not SWIM. And we're talking about SWYM. SWIM, I think, is what I just finished doing, like swimming. But SWYM is something totally different. SWYM is the acronym for say what you mean. If you're not saying what you mean, you are definitely missing out on some serious communication. You want to know why? Because saying what you mean makes a difference in how successful you are at communicating. You can converse, you can talk, you can fuss, fight, and argue. But are you communicating? Is what you're saying what you mean? Is what you saying what your counterparts or your audience or your significant other hearing? It's amazing. And with me, I've been trying to learn another language, and sometimes when I'm speaking with someone in a different language and they'll say something and I don't understand it, I'll go, oh, okay, yeah, right, see, Spanish, of course. And that happens sometimes when we're speaking English and or communicating. We don't always know what someone really means. We hear what they're saying and we think we know what they mean, but it's okay to ask them, hey, are you saying this? Is this what you mean? So all I'm here to do is just to remind you to do that. It's not a bad idea. Hey, Melanie Bonita. Hey, Christine. What's up, Jackie? Hope y'all are doing fine. I want you to know something, how much I really appreciate this. I talk about my live stream being about communicating, how we listen, how we hear, what we do with the information. Why am I the only one talking about that? That should be on the news every night. I believe we'd have a whole lot less trouble and chaos in the world if we just took the time to listen to people, and not just listen, if we took the time to hear, not just hear. If we just paid attention, and then the information we gather, if we just, use it wisely. The topic tonight has to do with logic, reasoning, and standards. And I'm going to get into that, and I'm not going to be long. I have a clip from Dr. Joyce Myers. I just found it at the last minute. What she's talking about is not the exact same of what I'm talking about, but when you hear her clip, you'll see how powerful a made-up mind is. And I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. Okay, when we're talking about logic and reasoning and standards, anytime you ever interact with someone and you're not on the same page, something is wrong. It could be you. It could be them. It could be both of you. But there's something going on. If you have a conversation with someone and you're communicating, you should walk away from that conversation shaking their hand with a smile. And, if it's a deal on the table and you've signed, you should be okay, at peace, because you've spoken, you were clear, you understood, they understood, you repeated what you're saying, and everybody's good. However, if you're just not on the same page with someone, you need to do something about that. And I don't want to lose my train of thought here. I want to talk about how to reason, how to consider logic. Anyone that has passed the third grade has enough matter inside of their skull to really get to the bottom of anything. But there's something you have to get past, and it has to do with our emotions, our feelings, our beliefs, and then just flat out wanting to have our way. You can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. Oh, let's see if I can sing the whole song. You can't always get what you want. It says that 3 times, and then it goes, but if you try sometime, you get what you need. I don't sing, I play the sax, another whole story. But anyway, let me just get down to it because I have something to do. I want to go. Listen, hear, pay attention, analyze. Logic is so easy. It's very simple. 1 and 1 really is 2 if you're using mathematics. Up and down is simple. Up is this way, down is that way. Left on my screen is that way, and right is that way. Hot, if you're like in a climate, anything over about 85 and 90 degrees is hot. Anything, as far as I'm concerned, below 40 degrees is a little cool. It's chilly. You can't argue that if you're human. If your temperature is 98.7, 98.6, you go in 90-degree weather, you're going to feel it. If you go in 40-degree, 30-degree, 20-degree weather, you're going to feel it. And again, if you pass the third grade, you're going to say, oh, this is cold if it's 30 degrees. You're going to say it's hot if it's 97, like it is in South Florida. Ooh, another whole story within itself. So when you find yourself in a conversation with someone and you are, or they are, putting logic, standards, and principles, information, facts, proof, evidence, they're putting that on the table, or you're putting it on the table. Why would they or you argue basic principles? I know why. I'm going to answer the question for you. It's because you just don't like it. It doesn't flow your way. You don't believe it. That's why. Well, I'm going to be done now. So with that being said, I'm just going to go to the clip. I could go on with this. I'm finding a way to be a little shorter, but I want you to listen to Dr. Joyce Myers. And I will say this, I was listening to Dr. Miles earlier in the week, and he was talking about the most powerful force in the universe is the human mind, and a made-up mind. Even if someone is inaccurate or flat out wrong, when their mind is made up, they're just going to be just sincerely wrong. But, when people get their minds together, when they decide they're going to do something and they put forth the effort, you can't stop that force. You just can't. It's just strong and powerful. You could slow it down in a lot of ways. You can hate on people who are determined to do something, but you just can't stop people who are doing the right thing and going in the right direction. I don't care how nasty, hateful, and evil and stinking you are. You just can't stop, goodness. So I'm going to play this and then I'm going to go. And because I'm not going to come back, I'm just going to summarize. Logic, reasoning, analyzing, it kind of speaks for itself. Logic is plain. Principles are plain. You know, it just is what it is. I don't care how mad you get. You can't stop the rain if it's raining outside. I don't care how mad you get. After 6 or 7 o'clock when the sun goes down, you can't make daytime again just because you want it to be. I mean, I'm being outlandish on purpose because the principles are the same. If something is something, if somebody doesn't like you, you can't make them like you. I don't care how nice you try to be. If someone doesn't love you, you can't make them love you either. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to go on with her. And again, in my closing, my third closing. Listen, hear, pay attention. Be okay with what you get. It's okay. You can't get your way all the time. You can't always be happy. You should be content. There should be joy in your soul. And if something works in your favor, so be it. But if it doesn't, learn how to take it like a man or like a woman and go on somewhere and sit down. Time comes again at another date and time. Anyway, who's talking? Unstoppable. So true. Amen. Great question. Okay. I'm going to let you listen to Dr. Joyce, and then I'm going to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I talk about this being therapy for me. I don't have a lot of friends, you know. So when I come on and talk to you guys, it's just some of the things that are going on inside of my head, and I get to air it out. Thank God for, you know, social media. Some people use it for different reasons, and you know, I like to come on and share my thoughts with people. Sometimes I have a guest, and I do have a guest that I've got, you know, in the works, and I'm going to be playing my sax some more. I've been threatening y'all with that for a long time. Anyway, have a great rest of the week. Find someone you need to say, I love you to. Don't just say it, show it, mean it, let it be true. You're more than welcome. Melanie Bonita. All right, here's the powerful mind from Dr. Joyce Myers. She's not talking about exactly what I'm talking about, but she puts her, you know, somewhat religious spin on it, and it's good. All right, take care. I'll catch you next time. Okay, good night.
What is it in a person? Maybe somebody needs to lose quite a bit of weight. And they've tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried.
Stop talking about me.
It's just, I just can't, you know, I try, but I can't. I get so hungry and I can't. And then all of a sudden, they make their mind up. And you can tell from talking to them it's different this time. They're convinced. They've got confidence. I don't care how long it takes. I am going to get my body in good shape. I've got my mind made up. I'm sticking with it. And it's none of this, well, you know, I think I'll do okay, but, you know, I'm really afraid of going to that party on Saturday because as soon as I see those desserts, I know I'm done for. Oh, get a grip. I mean, if you can't even overcome a piece of pie, how are you going to take authority over the devil? Well, you know, man, I tell you, when I see cookies, I got to eat a dozen. No, you don't. You eat a dozen because you've told yourself you have to eat a dozen. Let me tell you something. If you make your mind up that you are going to get yourself in shape and you realize it's not going to happen overnight, and that's a large part of the battle right there. Everybody makes their mind up for about 2 days, and then as soon as anything gets hard, now all of a sudden, I refuse to let you leave here this weekend as a whiner. You are going to leave as a warrior, not a whiner. And there's some things that some of you need to make your mind up. You need to set your mind, and you need to do it now. I am going to get out of debt. I am going to get my body in good shape. I am going to get my house in order.
That's right.
I am going to learn the Word of God. I am going to discipline myself to pray and spend time with God. I have set my mind that everything that Jesus died for me to have, I am going to have. If anybody can have it, I can have it. But now listen, it's going to take more than shouting. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take some willingness to let your flesh suffer. You won't die if you're hungry a while. You won't die if you get sore. You won't die from overwork if you keep your house clean. Come on now. Oh, Joyce, I didn't come here for you to yell at me about cleaning my house. Well, you know what? If everything around us is a mess, then that's a sign.
Come on now.
That something else is in a big mess. Oh, that went over really big, didn't it? Okay, pressing on. Nothing is more beneficial than a made-up mind. You make your mind up tonight that you're going to do something with your life. You make your mind up that when you get to be old, you're not going to look back with nothing but regrets. Let me tell you something. I had a lousy start in life, but I'm having a great finish. And if God brought me home right now, I've had a good ride.
SWYM. Swim. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
You know, sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone, but you got to keep on searching.
You got to keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. For example, take me standing right here today. I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say. You got to keep on searching. Keep on searching.
Keep it on the cool side.
Keep on looking around.
Good night, y'all. Love you. Appreciate you.